Hi. So this is the my first failure, and this is my failed business. And I know a lot of people have talked about that not only one business, they have failed 1,000 before they even get to a business in which they actually got successful, and I'm all for it. But this was something, at least for me, one thing that I had to do since it was part of my bucket list. So what I'm saying, I'll tell you, it was always like, okay, so when I graduate, I so there were three things: either get a job, and then if that didn't work out, go for masters. If that didn't work out, I'm going to give a try to starting my own business, right? And for at that time it was COVID era, and although I was working, I just felt like, okay, something is not completed. So I thought, okay, let me go while doing a job, let me go to my second plan, that was starting business. No, not that was not that was basically going for masters. And since at that time I was going through some personal struggles and I just couldn't get in, so that plan was out of the window. And second was starting a business. And I was always this kind of a person that, I would say not always, because right now I'm not, but at that time I was kind of a person that I just didn't have that trust in me that I could start a business. So I approached every friend, cousin to start a business with me. And I would say it wasn't as much as about partnership or investment. It was about just having someone there, having your back, and even though you know that you can do it. And everyone rejected, or rather didn't just see themselves starting a business. But one friend did reach out, but although it didn't like work out, she did help me with a lot of research. And my business is was called Rely. And the Rely was something I looked at as at a bigger perspective. So yes, at the start I wanted to be a hair oil business. I know you would be thinking mainstream, but mine wasn't. So, and a bigger meaning, because yes, I wanted to add more products, but I really wanted to have this big name but have other branches, for example of an NGO or animal shelter, something like that, because I just thought the name Rely is so much more to that. And although it didn't work out, I am super proud of myself, the approach I took living in Pakistan, because in Pakistan I just studied everything very thoroughly, the strategic process, and I did something that was just out of the picture, I would say. Because for me it's always that, even though I do believe that market is not saturated, if a person cannot have a unique idea, then they can have a unique process, something different. If they cannot have a unique process, even then the execution can be different, how you approach the people. So I just believe that there is always a way for you to stand out. And so here I am going to share my screen and show you how I stood out.
Hi. So This is all of my work, and like the topic was failing forward. It does say over here failing forward. So yeah, realize. So 1 second. Yeah, I did organize it regarding what I was doing at that time, because even though at that time I might not have an idea that okay, that was influencer research, secondary research, but right now could actually categorize it so that I could take you through that it wasn't something that I always knew that okay, this is someone, not me, or this would fail, or I'm not doing it right, or execution was right. No, I worked hard. Uh, it was a full proof, like according to me, definitely a process. And even though it didn't work out, it's just amazing the way I was able to work through it. So let me just take you 1 second. Let's go to the market research first. So I visited markets here in Karachi, Pakistan, and I basically not only visited but also see that okay, which vendor do I need? Is he or she credible? Is the oils cold pressed? And all of that stuff, that was because all of that really matters to me. For me, it was like I am although starting a business, and I know I could just make use any oils because definitely oils work. But for me, it was more like I want to deliver that authenticity because people are eventually going to trust me, and I don't want to uh, be using their trust for my advantage. So I'm just going to play this short video. 1 second. Okay, it felt like as if I was in those streets again because it just feels like, oh, okay, that was although like years ago, but it's just that when you look at the memories, it just feels like it was just yesterday you were doing it. And after the market research, I did do secondary research. And definitely in these research, there was proper ingredients research as well, because I didn't want to just choose ingredients because and because I wanted that if I'm choosing an ingredient, I want that to provide the benefits it's supposed to provide, to share so I could share all the benefits, I could share everything with people, and they know that they can, trust me for it. So first I'm going to take you through this OCB document. So that's Organic Care Business. And this I built with like, the way you see my hair, my identity, damn girl. So this was basically me, the general observation on Facebook groups. So people don't realize that when we have that short groups with people, and when you, even though people, yeah, post for a lot of questions, but in comments, you can learn so much about people. Like, it's not about that question, it's also about why they are, answering, or where does that motivation comes from, and although this document, like I just copy pasted a lot of comments and a lot of ingredients and the way people shared, the what people wrote, it was also at the same time heartbreaking for me because women, I realize women go through so much. And yes, there is male pattern baldness. And when I started my realized page, I did share about that because I wanted people to be educated. But just hearing this story that there was this woman who was in her closest moments with her husband, and she was mocked for the way she looked. And just that insecurity grew in her so much that she was looking out for ways that she could improve the way she looks. Yeah, and this another example with this little girl was sitting at a table at a dinner table, and someone commented how her hair are too thin. So women are, maybe I'm going to put this another tangent. So I'm just going to leave it there because yes, with this I realized that for for people who introduce products, for them it can be product, for them it can be profit, for them all of these things. But when you actually care about people, you then realize what they go through. And I was just shocked that that's what some women has to hear. So that this is all like Facebook groups research. One second. Yeah. And then organic care. So these are all of the questions that I just thought that I need to answer them in order for me to start a business. So structured way answering. And then I did roll out a proper survey in order to understand where this is, coming from, if people are still using any branded hair oil and how it's working out for them and stuff like that. So just to have that clearer idea in my own way, right? And this is just hair oil work about bottles and all of that accounting work, and so that I am not only thorough in it's come to research, but also qualitative research is one thing, quantitative and calculative. Probably I'm using it wrong, but in the calculations also, I need to be spot on so that I'm able to provide people that I claim to provide. And yes, in between it was the research as well, the ingredient research. I also worked on competitor research, like of course, and my friend did help me with that. But since it was my idea, I did share with her that how it would go, the SWOT analysis, the social media. So I could transfer what idea I had in my head to her. So this is that. And then one second. Yeah. And then after this was done, this was the main important thing, influencer research. So yes, I studied the influencer. I even ran this one Instagram page. I just started scrolling till I reached when it was started, and it was like 2018 or something. So I scrolled down like 3 to 4 years for that, now to see, okay, where they were targeting, how they were approaching women, how they were running campaigns, marketing as well, just the way they're connecting people. And I realized this huge gap that a lot of people who are running this business, every one of them had a very similar outlook. in terms of execution. So sharing posts, sharing like videos, sharing testimonials, everything was really important, definitely. But people, I didn't see that care that I talked about, that to educate people that even when they care about their hair, they can actually take care about what they eat. They can actually take care about different household methods that they can implement so that their health, hair health can get better. And when it comes to shampoo, like what right surfactants were, and when it comes to um, tools, the hair tools, how to take care of them. And I saw that when it comes to the international market, there were a lot of influencers who built by educating people and then launching the hair oil. So since I didn't have that, I use my business in a way to educate them. So this is just the research, like a few screenshots of the myriad I had uh, to share that yeah, I worked all on it, all of it, and also the stages of hair growth, and just sometimes is always like sharing, educating them with stuff, so that they feel that okay, they are not growing crazy, right? So calming their fears, I'd say. So when the influencer research was done, I started realizing, okay, this is the path I need to take. And the way my approach would be to educate people. Like even when people although started building on connecting with me, buying the hair oil, my whole idea was that to be kind to yourself through taking smaller steps, by being kind to your hair, by being kind to what you with your food, the way you intake food, your skin. And I just feel like the whole idea of being kind was just missing even when it comes to product, and this was just the whole idea. And even when people would message me, and since I had done so much research, read articles, credible articles about it, like from Health9, I also shared like stuff with them. If someone just need consultation, like they have a hair growth issue or they have a hair thinning issue, so I would share with them what I learned so they are educated at the same time and make an informed decision, right? So this is like the social media plan. I'm going to take you to one video, but this is just how we need, like I was moving forward. Just sharing, these are in the bathroom that I basically should like pre-shower treatment, post-shower treatment, how to get rid of flyaways, and if I'm choosing an ingredient, why that ingredient, for example, and ways they can use oils. And this particular video, like I'm pointing at, it's basically that I use like rosemary and aloe vera and basil, and those are amazing for hair. So I grew them in my home so that I could take care of them since I'll be using them, right? And yeah, these are some of the pictures I took. And yes, I was crazy because I would be in my room and just recording and making sure that I am educating them right way. And even if I'm going to the markets and I'm buying stuff like protein stuff and these type of things, I'm also educating them in that way so that they can make informed decisions. So this is just a very beginning, I would say, not beginner, beginning outlook screenshot that I took of my page. There were more videos, but just to give you an idea of how it was, and just going to now play a video once again. Let's do this one. Yeah, right now I was also looking at my hair and I was like, wow. But yeah, like targeting both male pattern baldness and female pattern baldness and educating them. Sometimes it happens genetic, sometimes it happens because of the food you eat and vitamin D deficiency. So everything was just in a way to educate them in whatever way possible so that they have like not someone to go to, but they do have an outlook, and even if they didn't want to buy, they can actually check that this is what they want to do. And I was able to build following on Instagram, and I was able to build following on TikTok as well. And next, like this document of defining rely, and this is rely essential documents, that vision kind of product goals and how to get there and what our the target is. And this is like social media, the process that how I'm going to go about it, so that even though if everything is in place, when everything is properly organized, for me, it's just that everything is organized in my head also for some reason. So product rather than social media ideas when. So going through influencers and seeing and then using a bunch of ideas, same idea, and how I can use that in Rely with Rely. And then photography, inspirations, real deals. Real deal was actually what I would share on Facebook and stuff. And real deal Instagram, definitely. And you know what? Instagram has to be this colorful because Instagram is colorful. So I'd say one of the most important things was that logo, because I basically found this girl who had this offer that the first three person who message her, she is going to just prepare that logo for her. And she was so kind because I at that time was someone who had no idea. I had a vision and I just wanted that to be translated. And we have had, even though it was free, we have had like video meetings, video calls, like Zoom meetings, just so she can grasp my idea. Like she was amazingly hardworking. So this, and then we finally were able to reach like, but then again, I had some problems. So some hard work moving on, but we were able to reach. And for example, you can see this blue one. I also wanted a box that was easily recyclable. So people can store their anything in that and just reuse it instead of throwing it away. And this was basically the logo mood board, I'd say. And then, of course, bottle ideas. Come on. So these are some screenshots. I really wanted to go with um, a glass bottle, and basically the amber glass bottle because it helps with sunlight and so that it's not getting affected. But I also had to keep that idea that I'm making for Pakistani market and what would work with them and how to take that from there. So I did have like a plastic bottle in mind, but also I was sharing ways that even if it's plastic, how you can uh, use it efficiently, the hair oil, without it being damaged, reach to a point of being damaged by plastic, I would say. And then bottle packaging. So this, I'm just going to show this one. So this was logo, that the idea that she was able to, although this is not the packaging, but this was one of the mood board that I was able to um, create, work on, like how it's going to be, and the whole look and feel. Yeah, that's just one picture, but the whole look and feel to be very colors to be very calming and very comfortable, and also at the same time approachable, and just a feeling to people that it's going to be okay, as simple as that. I know it sounds cheesy, but as simple as that. I really want to show you my bottle. And oh, I do have it. One second, let me just open this in one of these videos. I'll have to borrow. Yeah, one second. Yeah. So I know not a big one, but let me just zoom. So this is the bottle, and this was like the division. This was the whole idea to go with white and gold. Uh, and the pump bottle and the ingredients were at the back. Just wanted the front to be super clean, minimal, and people could easily read, and at the same time definitely use as well. And all these picture I would just I bought props so that I can just do all of that photography at my home. Uh, to be as simple as that. Yeah. That's, for example, of my home, the pictures, the process, me figuring out packaging, me cutting, logo, and yeah. So let me just stop sharing so I can share you why it didn't work out.
Hi, so yeah, I stopped sharing. So the thing is that although I had all the planning and I even bought ring light and I would record and I would see that what time is right, when the lightning is perfect, it's just that it just didn't work out. I was going through something personal, and for me, it was at first was that I was very consistent when it comes to posts, and I was sharing about the research I find on like a credible sites, and but then again, I would say consistency turned into me posting every other day, and then every other day turned into like week and then months that I wouldn't post. And even though everything was perfect, it just didn't work out. I even have people who, when I deactivated my account, they somehow connected with my friend, and that friend connected with me because they wanted my hair oil, and I use my hair oil for sure. Duh. I love it so much, but for me, even though planning was all perfect, it just didn't work out. I was not consistent, and for me, it was that all the things I claimed I would do to the end consumers, to the end people, after understanding them, what they go through, I'm not providing that. And when that hit me, I just was able to see that okay, that was the hardware that I initially put in, but right now I'm not able to commit to it, so I had to stop. And still right now, that girl still bought hair oil and that page is non-existing. I still have stock with me, to be honest, and my mom just ask me that just share anything, just share other people's video, just do something. And I was just like, this is not what I promised and in a promise to do. And just sharing anyone else's, yes, I take inspiration, but for me it was more about authenticity. And if I'm not being true, then is that business worth running, you know? So yeah, so perfect, like for a perfect idea, the execution, everything was perfect, but sometimes when it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And although it was a failure, I'm grateful that it didn't work out, because I not only got to experience, but I saw myself transform into someone who was able to do content creation, because I never thought. I learned about my thought process. I learned about how organized I took things forward. I learned about how much for me people's pain points, what people go through, mattered a lot. The way I could put myself into other people's shoe, that empathetic side in me, I was able to see that. So these small things when I see, and also most importantly, like, even though I thought I couldn't run a business alone, like couldn't even start, the fact that I was able to start and I was able to run for it, even though for a short period of time, that just says a lot. That uh, sometimes your mind and your body might stop you from doing some things that somewhat resonates with you, and just once when you let go of that fears, you often see a version of yourself that you never thought existed. So this was my business rely, that didn't work out, and I'm proud of it. And yeah, I'm going to be sharing another episode soon. Thank you.